So to use spatial.io and create worlds on that platform, you need to have Unity software installed on your computer, and they require you to use a very specific version. So the minimum version they support is 2021.3.8, but they're suggesting 2021.3.2. So when you install your software, you can install. You can look for official releases and pre-releases and all releases, and in the installation editor, pick that specific version. And you want to make sure that you have selected WebGL as one of the options for the build support, and then download and install that version. And that version will work with the starter template. So you need to download the starter template and use that project structure. It will not work, the spatial tools will not work with the general Unity project. So once it's downloaded, you can unzip it. So it's here. If I do extract all, I'm in a Windows system. If I right click, extract all. So here is the project that I want to work with, and I have a Unity projects folder where I'm storing these projects. You need to open this particular project. You can change the name of it later after you set it up, but you need to open this one that has the spatial tools. So if I go into my projects and say open project from a disk, and I want to, now this is double folder, so I just have to bring it up one folder structure, one folder level. And now it will launch this particular project. And this particular project has the spatial SDK and all the tools that you'll need to work with spatial. So if you look at your account information, so this is going to tie in with your spatial account. So make sure that you create an account on spatial.io. So if I log out here, and this is my home area, so this is where I'll be creating and uploading and publishing the spaces, and they will be connected here. So unable to locate a config in this project, click below to get started. Create a project config. So since I'm logged in with Spatial, the account now is all set up. And copy your access token, so you want to get your login token. And you want to paste it. So this is your account and your setup, and you only have to do this the first time you make the connection. And now in your config, so I'm going to create a new world, and I'll call this and you need to put a scene file in here and a thumbnail, but we'll come back to this when we're ready to test the files. So that's the account in the spatial portal. You can see that these tools have changed now, that I have my account active, and there's configuration and updates. And then here's the same publishing tools that we have, so you can publish and test your active scene. And you can also right click and access the spatial tools. So I'm going to create a scenes folder. And save. And I'll save the project. So I've renamed the project Spatial World, and I've opened it up again, and this is the test world file, and this is our world that we want to build. So if we do a test active scene, so let's test it first before we publish it. So we'll do test active scene. And now it's loading it into the sandbox, and this is a good way to make sure that everything is working, because I can see right now that I'm over my mesh vertex count that's allowable, so it may or may not work, but it looks like it loaded, and I can walk around the world, and I can move through the space, and I know that I need to set up some collisions. And I can see some places where I can probably save some vertex counts. I can get rid of some pillows. So I can move around inside. And I need to establish fix some collision problems, but that's all right. As long as I can move around the world and see the space that I'm in. So the whole world needs collisions, but for the most part, it did upload and it is working. So I'll go back to my file. So here now I can close, I can explore, I can leave the space, or I can just close this window and go back and fix what I need to fix in my scene. So first I know that these pillows will save some space. So delete. So this one, this one, and this one. And there is another couch over here, and we'll get rid of these pillows. So every little bit of polygon count helps. And these need a new material. And I'm looking for glass. And I'm just clicking and dragging the materials onto the objects. And then to establish the collisions, I'm going to go in and use box colliders and mesh colliders. So first let's save this. And on this door, front door, I'm going to add a box collider. And I can put a box collider on this one also because the shape is pretty rectangular where you'll be moving. And for this, if I put a box collider around this, you won't be able to get through the door. So in this case, I'm going to add a mesh collider. And I'm going to save this file and make sure that these few changes that I just made are still working. So I'm going to test the active scene again. And it's still working, it's still bringing me in. So let's see what happens with the colliders now. I should not be able to go through this door up. So that's, how about this one? So if the colliders are giving me issues, I can actually go in and put some manual colliders in. So let's do it this way. If I create a cube, So with these two colliders, I don't want to see the mesh renderer, so I just want to use the collision box. And we'll take a third one. So I'm just testing the concept right now to see if this is what will help. And I'm using my hotkeys to navigate. I'm using the QWERTY keys, the QWER keys to quickly get the tool that I want. So E is rotate. W is translate. Let's lower these to the ground. And I have other boxes on the floors that are acting as a floor collider. So this should work. So we'll call these door collider. So that's 1, 2, 3. So they're my door collider. So let's save this scene. And we'll test the active again. So those colliders are working because I can't walk through the doors anymore. So I can't walk through there. Now I should be able to walk through this space. Okay, so it is working. So the colliders are working, and I need to go through the file and establish all of the colliders and the spaces for this particular world where I want the user to be able to go to, because we have chairs that they can sit in and so forth. So and I don't need this audio source. I'm just going to remove that component. And we don't need this. So there's a little bit of a cleanup that I still need to do on this particular world, because it is elaborate. There are a lot of models in here. There are lights and lighting fixtures, and let's increase the directional light. Let's see if we can rotate it around and change the look and feel. That's a little bit much in intensity. Bring this up. So once you do the cleanup and the world is ready to build, you want to make sure that you save your scene. And you go into your little gear here and set up the file. So this is going to be the name of this particular world, and the scene that I'm using is my test world. So let's take this out. So you want to drag in the world that you're going to build, and then you also need a label. So a label is a 2D image that is going to be the entrance point. So when you enter this world in your space, it will have this as the graphic. So this is the graphic that I created for the thumbnail, and you just drag and drop it in here, and then you're ready to publish the world. So make sure that it's saved, make sure that the project is saved, and then you'll click Publish. So you're about to upload this package to Spatial for publishing. So we tested it, and at this point, so on this video, I'm not going to add in all those colliders, but once you finish the world and have everything in it and you go to publish it, so I had just saved it, so let's reload it. So it's uploaded, and now it's going to process. So it says it's going to take a few minutes to process, and then I will receive an email. So we'll say okay, and I'll look for the email. And if we go into your spaces, so this is my login, your spaces, when it is published, it will appear here in my spaces as an available world, and then I can make it accessible to the community. Now that this spatial package has finished publishing, I can see it in my spaces. So if I go to your spaces, it shows me the thumbnail, and it lists the title, and if I click on this, it will bring me into this world. And this is now available for public use. So if I want to have other people access this world, I can click on the sharing options, and then I can decide who gets access to this world. If I say anyone with a link, this is the link. So if I copy this and give this link to someone, they can access and enter this world. If I keep it set as you and invited users, it can only go by an invite. I can also list it publicly and go live with it on the spatial platform. And if you love the space, you can check on the heart, and then that will add it to your favorite spaces, and then you can find it. So if I leave this space and go back, the love spaces, it's now listed in that category. And it's stored in my spaces. So these are the spaces that have been published. That means that they're finished, they're no longer connected to Unity, and they are available for the spatial platform Metaverse interactions. And you can post events and hold meetings in these spaces.